400 horsepower V8 engines, and we are ready for some pure racing. Joining me in the commentary booth again, Andre Castro, the EuroNASCAR 2 driver of 22 DF1 Racing Chevrolet Camaro. Thank you again for joining us here today.
Oh shit, that's a tough one, man. I mean, my 22 car. If we came from 9th to 1st, man, that would be amazing. So, looking for Nicola to go 3 wide up, send it down to turn 2, and hopefully gain some positions. But Lassie also has a really good chance of winning, obviously on the front row. And man, those Day and Hazemans are going to be super hungry. And Villeneuve, what a heartbreak last race. He's going to be looking to make good on that.
Yeah. It was an engine failure or something around the engine area that failed, so that's why he parked his car early in the race while leading the race ahead of Loris Hazemans, Alan Day, and Gianmarco Ercoli. Gianmarco Ercoli won the junior trophy, and we had to look deep down in the rule book. Loris Hazemans is not 25 years old. He's younger, but he's not eligible anymore for the junior trophy because he won the championship last year. So we had to take a look deep in the rule book because we had this case not before. So
I didn't
something
know that.
new. We learned something. Yeah. And we had also on the podium Lasse Sørensen with his great comeback coming from the back of the field right into the top 10. And now he's leading the field behind the safety car here for the second round of the EuroNASCAR Pro Championship. He was fastest in the first race. He posted the fastest lap, and now he's on pole position with the 66 car that we had in victory lane last year 7 times. He grabbed the EuroNASCAR 2 Championship last year in the very last corner of the Circuit Zolder race against Giorgio Maggi. It was Maggi or him who was winning the race. That was the champion. So Lasse Sørensen did a really good job, and now stepping up to the EuroNASCAR Pro is a big challenge, but for the first time we will see the 66 car at the front of the field, followed by Gianmarco Ercoli, then Luca Lasser, Jacques Villeneuve. Afterwards then we have Alon Day and Loris Hazemans, the winner of the first round and the reigning NASCAR Whelen Euro Series champion in the 50 car that was in victory lane 3 times this week, and 2 times it was in the EuroNASCAR 2. Tobias Dauenhauer who won the race, and earlier this day it was Loris Hazemans. So the 50 car, great setup, good balance. Let's see if Loris Hazemans can repeat what he did earlier today, but he has a tough starting position. We are ready, side-by-side command. Before we start the race, we have a little bit of time left. What are your thoughts when you are side-by-side, you see the pace car, the field is bunching up? What are your last thoughts before the green flag falls?
You don't have time to think, I guess. I don't know. I mean, sometimes you try to plan for those first few corners depending on where you are, but you always got to remind yourself how unpredictable it's going to be. If you imagine a scenario in your head, there's a 99 out of 100% chance that it's not going to happen that way. You know, something's going to be different to what you thought it was. So you just got to be alert. You know, be aware of your surroundings, check your peripheral vision, check your mirrors, and just go for it, I guess.
So the lead car will leave the track right now going into the pits, but we have the last corner ahead of us of the Autodromo di Vallelunga. It was a oval track in 1951, and this part was part of this oval. We see the banking. It's, like Villeneuve said, a real oval-like turn, and now we're going straight to the start zone, and the race control will turn the lights green any second. So Lasse Sørensen, and green flag is in the air. We are racing in the EuroNASCAR Pro Division for the last time this weekend, and I think it was a good start by Gianmarco Ercoli.
I see someone made a jump start down there, down the inside 3 wide. That's definitely going to be a penalty. But Ercoli into the lead over Lasse Sørensen. Oh, we got contact with Villeneuve. He's off the racetrack, through the grass, comes back on. I think he's still in 3rd. Now Lasser on the inside. Can't quite get the position on Villeneuve. That was a close one. I think he and Lasser made contact, but he managed to keep it on the road. It's Ercoli from Sørensen, from Villeneuve, and then Lasser and Alan Day.
And I think that Loris Hazemans had a tough start. I think he lost some positions, but we have to wait for the first sector, so we have some timings. Gianmarco Ercoli leading, the car racing youngster, Italian driver, a real NASCAR Whelen Euro Series veteran. He won his first EuroNASCAR Pro race in 2018 at Brands Hatch. And in 2015, he was already the EuroNASCAR 2 champion.
And he's wide. But he still kind of gets the run off there. I think he's going to be able to keep the lead down into the tight section of the track, Samaforo corner.
So we have now Ercoli, then Sørensen and Lasser, Villeneuve. That are the top 4. very busy first lap, and Villeneuve back in third.
Yeah, he's defending from behind from Leclerc, and he gets a touch from the back, and Leclerc up the inside. That was a little bit of a bump and run, but he slots in back in behind, and Alonde now has someone up his inside. That's the 42. He gets through Luigi Ferrara. But I saw that 42 go on the inside, like 3 wide past like 2 rows of cars at the start. I don't know if that's legal, but we'll have to check that.
So that was a very interesting first lap, and Gianmarco Ercoli still leading. Then we have Lasse Sørensen coming down in turn 2. Then we have Jacques Villeneuve ahead of Luca Lasser. Daniel Rowbottom in the 7 Hendricks Motorsport car. He's in 5th. Then we have Luigi Ferrara ahead of Alonde. Then we have a battle between Loris Hasemans and Stinus Longeur. They were both championship contenders in the 2019 season. At the end, it was Loris Hasemans winning the championship. I think there was somebody off track. I
think that was a 42.
Ferrara.
Yeah. But Sorensen getting a good run down into this corner here. So many lines you can take to this corner. You can go in deep and kind of diamond off the exit, cut it off, and split it into 2 parts at double apex, or you can go in wide and make it all one long corner. So many options through there.
And Day and Haseman, they had handful to do in this first laps. I think both of them lost some positions. It's not easy to be in the middle of the pack at the start. Those guys pulling a little bit away from Jacques Villeneuve, who's trying to close the gap. And
I think he is closing the gap. He's getting a little closer to Sorensen there. So I think soon it'll be a 3-car battle for the lead here. And it's so important to get the traction coming out of there. First gear, up to second. Loose left-right chicane. Compromise the second part so you get a good exit coming to the last corner.
So we have to take a look at the timing right now. I think Loris Hasemans is the one who lost several positions here. When we are coming over the line, we have the right order. Ercoli, then Sørensen, Villeneuve, Lasser, Rowbottom, Alonde. Still we're searching for Loris Hasemans. Where is the reigning EuroNASCAR Pro champion? He's down to 10th position behind Longeur, Sini and Ferrara.
Down the inside, can't get it done. And now he's going to have a compromise. Here comes Villeneuve, he's going to have a run. It seems like Ercoli not so strong to that first corner. He's getting attacked by Sorensen and having to defend every time down to turn 2.
And we have 3 penalties for the starting procedure infringements. We have Daniel Rowbottom in the 7, the 42 of Ferrara, and also Attianese. All of them will get a drive-through penalty. What you said, you saw the jump start and it was completely right.
Yeah, it was actually pretty black and white. Like, there's no way that wasn't a jump start. But yeah, I think sometimes the rules are a little different in NASCAR and other series. Maybe he got caught out by that. But
So right now the gaps are opening a little bit, but they are all still in the range for attacks. So I think this is going to be a great battle. The 7 car will have to go to the pits due to the drive-through penalty, so he's going to be shuffled back a little bit later. Alonde can now settle a little bit down because he don't have to take risks to overtake the 7 car. I think his spotter will tell him that the 7 car has a penalty. How is the communication between the spotter and the team and the driver here on a road course?
yeah, it really depends on how you kind of get along with the spotter. Definitely not as much information being shared as on the oval. Just there's not as much side-by-side racing as on the oval. Also depends whether the driver likes being talked to. I personally don't like being talked to in the corners, so I like sort of minimal information, but other drivers might want them to talk more.
Hasemans back in 9th. He made a move on Nicola Rocca. He's now in 10th position. And Ferrara in 8th, also shuffling down when he's serving his penalty. Very good start from Francesco Sini in the Solaris Motorsport Chevrolet Camaro, the Italian former Superstar Series driver. And we still have Gianmarco Ercoli in the first position, Sørensen in 2nd, Villeneuve in 3rd, Lasser in 4th. Then we have Day, Longeur, Sini, Ferrara with the penalty. Then Ferrando, Hasemans, Rocca, Trione, Caso, Lemari, Giorgio Maggi, Mark Goossens. Daniel Robertson was already in the pit box for his drive-through penalty. Then we have Yevgen Sokolovsky, Morphin. Atiane is in 20th position. And Lasse Sørensen is closing in. He's right at the bumper of Gianmarco Ercole. He wants to grab his second win in the EuroNASCAR Pro Division, but the pressure is high, right?
Yeah, we got a hungry Ercole here, and he's going to definitely want to keep this lead. Yeah, Sorensen keeping the pressure on though, as the train begins to build a little bit. Alan Day, he's not really quite as close to Lasser as he would like, I don't think. Gonna have to put in some good laps to try to get there. This time is the first time in a while that I haven't seen Ercole defending down into turn 2. He usually has to defend there from Sorensen, who gets a really, really good toe and a good run up through turn 1. And now he's gonna get a good toe here. So 54 definitely gonna go defensive here.
So this is a long back stretch here at the Autodromo di Vallelunga, then right-hander, but not that heavy braking zone. Is this a position where you are part of the track where you can overtake, do you think?
I think so. It's a pretty heavy braking zone. It's just such a long corner that you can, like I said, if you go in deep, you can just diamond off the second part of the corner. So that's what Ercole is going to be doing. He's going to drive in really, really hard, park it at the apex so that Sorensen almost wants to hit him, and then just drive off so that he can't get to his bumper. Oh,
and
that's
lock
a
up.
big lock up. But he might, yeah, side by side for the lead now.
This is the
that might
chance.
affect him negatively right there. You're going to feel that for sure. That's a pretty big flat spot.
Sørensen still trying to find the gap to pass Gianmarco Ercole. I think some of the drivers are a little bit faster than Gianmarco Ercole, but it's the difference. You can close the gap, but passing is different, completely story. It's not easy. You have to find the right timing. You have to find the right place to make a good move. Of course, you don't want to damage your car. Those NASCAR stock cars, they are very sustainable. They are not like GT cars or touring cars when a little flap goes away, it's undrivable. Those cars, you can hit each other a little bit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see that here in this race. But as you said, no DRS, no push to pass. It's very tough to make a proper move if the guy in front is defending. And that is what, he's going to try to make that 54 car as wide as possible here, these next few laps.
So these cars, pure racing in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, 400 horsepower. We have a rear-wheel drive car with a manual H-pattern gearbox, 4 gears. There's no electronic driving aids. There are no other options like push to pass or DRS. It's pure racing, all on the driver. All cars are the same. They're equal. The teams have limited options to work on the setup, but everybody has the same material, so it's all on the driver and the ideas of the team to build a setup, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, you have to work with your team and make sure you have the best car possible for the race. And I think, it's pretty even field here wow, once again, another big lock up there. Yeah, I think the spread from teams is not as big as other series. And, I think pretty much anybody has a chance of winning on any given day. Obviously, some teams have a greater chance than others and some drivers as well. But, you see some crazy races in this series where someone can come from 20th and get a top 5. So, unpredictability is great.
There was a little bit of a contact between Luca Lasser and Jacques Villeneuve. Once again, they have a great battle here in this lap. We have 5 laps of 18 now in the books and still leading Gianmarco Ercole and Sørensen. Very calm, trying to find the right timing to make a move. Jacques Villeneuve in 3rd. He was leading the first race and then had to retire due to technical problems. We hope that the car will last these 18 laps. And then we have Luca Lasser, very fast this weekend. Well prepared 33 Micho Motors car, and then Alan Day. He was 2nd in the first race. The 2-time champion moved from Carl Racing to PKK Sport in the winter and found a new sponsor. And I think now Alan Day has a good chance on passing Luca Lasser. They are side by side, and the next corner is a right-hander, right?
Yeah, I think you should have him here. If he gets a good run, maybe some side draft up into the corner. You never know. I haven't tested that in these cars. I don't even know if that really works here, but he's got him pretty easily. So up to 4th for Alan Day. He's going to want to get on Villeneuve's tail now. But, man, his rival from earlier today, Hazemans, he's nowhere to be found. A few seconds behind in 8th place.
Yeah, Hazemans told me after the race that they had some issues with the setup. The car was too loose and they tried to work. Maybe they worked in the wrong direction. You have to try something. There was no possibility to test, of course. So they tried something and it don't seem to, it doesn't work. That's what I wanted to say. So Ercole, Sørensen now side by side. He's always driving very wide outside Sørensen, trying to make a move on Ercole. I think what you said, he's blocking a little bit the inside, trying to park on the apex. That's the strategy Ercole is doing right now. But someday, on some place, and Alan Day off the track.
Yeah, just I don't know. I guess he got loose over that little. There's a little bit of a crest, a little bit of a curb over that that right-hander part of the chicane, and maybe he just hit the curb wrong and sent him out wide. But Lasse Sorensen's going to be looking at Ercole, and he's going to see that he's been locking up the right front. So he's going to know that in these areas he's not going to have the braking power that he once had. You know, because once you flat spot the tire once, twice, it just gets worse and worse and worse. So he's not going to be able to carry the same amount of speed into these slow right-hand corners that he was before. So Sorensen's going to know and try to attack there.
You've become the EuroNASCAR Esports Series champion earlier this year, and there was a move in the prologue you did to Alan Day, the bump and run.
Oh,
Do you think this is the last option Lasse Sørensen has when it comes down to the last lap?
It's a good question. I wonder what the stewards are going to think about that. I would say he would have to. I think he has enough time to get him without the bump and run. I think he's got 12 laps. I think he's going to be able to get him at some point here. He looks faster. He's just got to watch out behind for Villeneuve, because Villeneuve is coming right there too. So we'll see where the pass happens, if it happens. But right now, Ercole's doing a great job. You know, he's leading the race. He gets a bit of a bad run out of there. You're going to have to definitely defend down into here.
Lasse Sørensen now side by side. The 54 of Ercole on the inside, the 66 on the outside. This is maybe another chance for Jacques Villeneuve to make a move.
Yeah, he tried to just break really, really deep around the outside. Here comes Villeneuve for second. He locks up. Oh, and he pushed him wide. That allows Lucas Lasser to get second. Oh, man. Aggressive racing from Villeneuve right there. Wow.
But the laughing third was Luca Lasser taking advantage of that move, and he's now in second. Now side by side with Jacques Villeneuve. He's trying to find a way past the 33 car. Lasse Sørensen back in fourth position now. And we have Alan Day in fifth. So Gianmarco Ercole taking advantage of the battles behind him, opening the gap. Then we have Luca Lasser, Jacques Villeneuve and Lasse Sørensen. Great racing in the EuroNASCAR Pro Division. You said aggressive, but in my opinion, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, but I don't think Sorensen's going to be happy. Because, you know, it was one thing to send it in there, but he sent it in so hard that Lasser passed both of them, you know. So, yeah, Villeneuve, I think, just went a little too hard in there. But now he's going to have to refocus, try to get past Lasser here, and then, you know, maybe get to the 54. But now the 54 has a few car lengths, and he has some room to breathe. He might also just pick up a few tenths just from not having to look in his mirror all the time. So this is good for the 54.
Look in the mirror, right? Interesting thing. Do you see something in those mirrors?
Oh, you don't see as much as you would on a road car, for sure. It's actually like much less visibility than you would normally see in your average road car. But yeah, you can see when someone, you know, pops out, tries to pass. When someone's right on your bumper, you see them right there.
And does it affect your driving style then in this moment when you see the car big in the mirror?
I think it has to a little bit. Yeah, at least a little bit has to mess with your head when you're worrying about defending every corner and not, you know, driving naturally, for sure. But some of these guys are very experienced, so they're gonna know what to do and how to manage that.
So we have another message. We see Thomas Ferrando in 20th position. He's already 2 laps down. So another unlucky race for the Frenchman in the Carl racing car. Thomas Ferrando will not make big points here at the season opener at the Autodromo di Vallelunga. Let's go through the order. Ercole, Lasser, Villeneuve, top 3. Then we have Sørensen in 4th, ahead of Alan Day. Langin, Sini, Hesemans, Rocca and Triono. They close the top 10. Then we have Patrick Lemery ahead of Dario Caso and Giorgio Maggi. Mark Goossens in 14th ahead of Daniel Rowbottom, who had a penalty due to a start procedure infringement, as well as Luigi Ferrara. Then we have Manfred Sokolowski, Attianese and Ferrando out of the race. And we are at the halfway point of this race, 9 lap of 18 in the books. And we have still a great battle for the first place. And I think we will see another car than the 50 in the victory lane today, because Loris Hesemans in 8th position, 8 seconds behind the leader. So I think Hesemans is out of the competition here today for the race win. What do you think?
Yeah, it's just the first time all weekend that we've seen this 50 car not at the top. Literally, I think every single session up until this point, the 50 car has been on pole, winning the race in both EuroNASCAR Pro and EuroNASCAR 2. So yeah, I'm definitely surprised by this, but he's got a battle on his hands here with the 11 and the 12, Longin and Cini. So these are also valuable points. Seems like Longin is under attack here. We'll see if Cini is going to go for a move.
Yeah, this was the battle for 6th, 7th and 8th, while Jean-Marc Ercoli still leads, but I think the gap is getting smaller lap by lap. Luca Lasser trying to close that gap, and also Jacques Villeneuve is still there in 3rd position. Sørensen trying to find his way back up into the top 3. Of course, the Danish giant wants to be on the podium. It would be his first podium in the EuroNASCAR Pro Championship. He drove 2 races in 2019 at Brands Hatch, and he finished in one race 10th position. So he has a little bit of experience in the top division of NASCAR Whelen Euro Series racing. But a podium still missing. But right now, he's losing a little bit of ground, I think, on Jacques Villeneuve. And also Alan Day is coming closer and closer.
Yeah, but it's good to see Lucas Lasser running up here, because I think he had a tough year last year. You know, I don't think he had the results he wanted. But you know, he's such an experienced driver, and I guess this year he's got the car more to his liking, and now he's up here. He's showing everybody what he can do. So holding off, you know, Formula One world champion right now, and chasing, you know, the younger Jean-Marc Ercoli. So we got a really interesting mix of you know, age, experience, and you know, racing backgrounds here in this top 5. And but yeah, it looks like Alon Day is right on the back bumper of Lasse Sorensen. Just saw it out of the edge of the frame there. He might go for a move. Looks like the 66 has not been able to keep up with Villeneuve after he made that move on him.
And another lockup by Gianmarco Ercoli. I think he's struggling with the right front tire.
That one was even worse than the previous 2, I think. It's going to be tough to finish on that tire for sure. And Lucas Lasser is going to see that and be like, okay, this is my chance. He's coming back up.
So the question is if there's going to be a puncture someday when he's stressing the tire that much. But right now, everything seems fine with the 54 car of Ercoli. And we have some debris there on the track. And
some damage with the 12.
Yeah.
He might have made contact battling for 6th place there with Longin.
Yeah, and Longin is in 8th. Hesemann got passed through, so there may be a contact between Langer and Cini, and Hesemann's made up 1 position, so nothing we have seen on the screen, but there was definitely contact between Cini and Langer. Cini still now in 7th position. Hesemann's passed him, so Hesemann's in 6th. Then we have Cini, Langer, Rocca, and Trione. And still up front, we have Ercoli. And you said something that Luca Lasser is a very experienced driver, and he give away his experience in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series recruitment program in winter when he's teaching young drivers, new drivers, how to race with those cars. And we have a problem for Daniel Robotham here, very slowly. But what I wanted to say, so he shares his experience with the young drivers. What do you think about the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series recruitment program?
I think it was really instrumental in me, you know, continuing my racing career. You know, when I had a lack of options, and finally just came across this real, you know, a really good opportunity for young drivers to come into EuroNASCAR 2 and gain valuable experience. You know, racing out front with you know, some of these guys last year, and yeah, I mean, it's a very effective way to get these guys that are coming out of other series, maybe open wheel, GT, even karts, and putting them all into a series with great competition. And you know. Lock up
by Alan Day, and he got past
Sorensen.
Yeah,
I was talking, got past that. I didn't notice that. But yeah, Alan Day is going to be looking to close here on Villeneuve. But like I was saying, yeah, pre-COVID, you know, the fans are, you know, crazy. There's so many fans at the races, and a new experience for myself for sure. You know, seeing that many people rooting for you. So yeah, it's a great program, and I hope it continues in 2021.
So still Ercoli in the lead, Lasser in 2nd, Villeneuve in 3rd. Sørensen now in 5th behind Alan Day. The 2-time champion made a move and moved up to 4th position. Then we have Loris Hesemanns in 6th ahead of Cini and Langer, Rocca in 9th. So at least a solid top 10 result possible for the Italian that is driving the 22 DF1 Racing Chevrolet Camaro, your car in the EuroNASCAR 2 Championship. So maybe Rocker in the top 10 ahead of Mauro Trione, one of the Challenger Trophy drivers, the special classification for silver and bronze drivers. Then we have Patrick Limery, a close friend and co-owner, or a close friend of Jacques Villeneuve and a co-owner of Feed Vict Racing, the new team on the grid by Jacques Villeneuve, Patrick Limery, Dario Caso, who is in 12th, and Onofrio Veneziani. And then we have Mark Goosens, a really experienced driver. He had several NASCAR starts. He also raced in the IMSA series, prototypes and GT cars. And this is his first full season in NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. He joined Carl Racing in the 98. And Goosens already grabbed one race win at Zolder. But I thought he would be way more up in the order, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, he had some really good runs last year with Brax, so and we all know how talented and experienced he is. So yeah, I definitely thought he would have a little bit of a better weekend, but seems like he's destined to be outside the top 10 this race. Surprising for sure. But Lasser, he could be looking at a win here. Honestly, he's closing up on the back of Ercole, and he's going to be having his chances here in a couple laps. But Ercole's just been defending so well, and if he continues to do that, it's going to be tough for Lucas to get around him.
This camera, I like this one very much. You see the speed, you see how much the drivers are on the limit in those pure racing NASCAR stock cars. The official European NASCAR series. We have more international series in the NASCAR world. We have also the Canadian Pinty series and the Mexican Peak series. So NASCAR is leaving an international footprint everywhere in the world. And we're happy that they decided to join the Team FJ around NASCAR Whelen Euro Series President Jerome Golpin in 2012. Since then we had 4 different EuroNASCAR Pro champions, and now we have Luca Lasser right at the back of the bumper of Gianmarco Ercole, and also Villeneuve was very close. And I think Lasse Sørensen has some kind of problems because he cannot keep up with the pace of the front runners right now.
Yeah, it seems like the pace just went off of his car. But from P1, I think he maximized his result right here, and probably going to ride in P5 for a while. But you never know what can happen ahead of him. He capitalized on someone else's mistake, which it looks like there's going to be some bumper-to-bumper racing here in the last few laps. So hopefully no casualties from that. But you know, it's always a possibility when you're going for the win. So we'll see.
So the 4 championship winners I talked about a little bit earlier, they are Ander Villarino, 3 championship rings. Then we have Alan Day, 2 championship rings. Anthony Kumpen, his team boss, 2 championship wins. And then we have Loris Hedewan with 1. You get this nice ring at the end of the season. Nothing to wear all day, but do you want one of those?
Yeah, I already have one, sort of. It's like, it doesn't really count, but it's ENASCAR, or ENES, so there you go, we got one there. But yeah, no, it's definitely motivation for sure. I mean, as if these drivers need any more motivation, right? I mean, these guys are pushing to the limit every single lap. So these guys got to think championship. You know, Hazeman's, I think this is sort of a bad day by Hazeman's standards, but he's still in 6th. You know what I mean? So if 6th is his bad day, then, you know, he still has a good chance of winning the championship. And he's going to be on the podium many times this season. So, yeah, just got to minimize those bad days, and that makes the championship a whole lot easier.
Yeah, you already mentioned the ring you got for the EuroNASCAR Esports Series win by TJ, a brilliant titanium ring, and there will be a ring given away after this race too for the most fastest driver award, the driver who gained the most points during a weekend in the EuroNASCAR Pro will get also a TJ titanium ring. So it's not only about points, it's also about trophies, and in the NASCAR Whelen Series about rings.
Yeah, but like I said, you know, these drivers, they don't need any more motivation. They just want the win. It's all about the win. It's all about coming home and being satisfied with your performance over the weekend. So, yeah, Gianmarco Ercole definitely looking good at this moment to maybe take that 2nd career win. But man, he's driving so well under pressure. You know, I'm really impressed here. He hasn't made very many mistakes at all. The 2 lockups that he has had, or 3 maybe, he's kept them very well. You know, he hasn't allowed anybody to get up the inside, so he's just been holding steady. And he still has 2 or 3 car lengths here, so gonna have to manage that for these last couple laps.
So I think we have 3 laps to go. Gianmarco Ercole on his way to his 2nd win. We have to make a big question mark here because he's still under pressure by Luca Lasser in the 33 and Jacques Villeneuve, the former Formula 1 champion, Indy 500 winner, and also IndyCar World Series champion. He also raced in the NASCAR Cup Series, NASCAR Xfinity Series, and Truck Series. So all 3 national US American series. We had a great race last night at Richmond. I think Brett Keselowski won it.
He did.
Yeah, and he moved up into the next round of the playoffs. So the championship deciding time in the US NASCAR. And we are at the season opener, so we have some races in this year ahead of us. 3rd and 4th of October, Circuit Zolder. Then in September we had Most in the Czech Republic, and then the great final, the Super Speed Week at Circuit Ricardo Tormo in Valencia in Spain. So we will see some beautiful places all over Europe in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. But let's focus on this battle. This is for the lead. This is Ercole and Luca Lasser.
He's close this time. He's going to have to close the door here, which he does. Oh, and Lasser locks the rear a little bit there. But he still manages to get out of the corner decently. Oh, as I say that, he gets in the grass. Yeah, he just locked the rears going in there. And then I was like, oh, he got it turned so well after that. I was surprised, but then he went a little wide. Got a lap car here. Hopefully he doesn't get really in the way.
Yeah, that's
I think
Yevgen
he's going to get in the
Sokolovsky.
way. Oh, that's not good. That's not good for Lucas Lasser. He needs all the time he can get.
Yeah, that was the Marcus Tip Motorsport 48 by Yevgen Sokolovsky, Ukrainian NASCAR Whelen Euro Series rookie. The car was torn apart in a EuroNASCAR 2 race yesterday. Chris Richard and Julia Landauer made contact, but the team worked all night to bring back the 48 onto the grid. But yeah, he was a little bit in the way for Lucas Lasser, and we see the gap opened a little bit. And I thought that Alan Day was close. Oh, Lucas Lasser with a mistake.
Yeah, and he hit that orange turtle curb, the sausage curb. He hit it pretty hard. That's going to cost him some more time as well.
So maybe this was the decision. This was the last mistake. So Gianmarco Ercole now opens the gap. But to finish first, you have to finish. There are 2 more laps to go. And a single mistake by Gianmarco Ercole and everything can change again. And I think that Alan Day puts a lot of pressure now on Jacques Villeneuve. It's all
forced
about
him into a mistake there. He goes wide.
Yeah.
But, you know, here, if the guy in front defends here, it's really, really hard to get a pass made. So Villeneuve should have the advantage here into this section of the track. And, yeah, Alon goes wide. And he kind of tries to cut off that exit to get a good run coming into this hairpin. Can't do anything. And all the while, Ercole pulls away.
So a nice battle for 3rd here. Alan Day tries to get the last spot on the EuroNASCAR Pro podium. Lasse Sørensen still in 5th position, a top 5 in his 4th career EuroNASCAR Pro race would be a good one. And I think we are now in the last lap of the race. So it's 4 more kilometers for Gianmarco Ercole to win his 2nd EuroNASCAR Pro race.
Yeah, it's been a really interesting day, you know. 2 races, completely different complexions here. And I think it shows the difficulty of overtaking a little bit because it's not like the same guys who are in front were in race 1 have come back up today. So, yeah, these guys benefited from track position at the start, and they've stayed out in front, showed their pace. Ercole's done a good job. Only a few more corners to go.
No more mistakes allowed. Gianmarco Ercole, and in this...
There's one.
Yeah, a little bit
There's another
sliding.
one. Is there oil or something down there? Everybody's
yes.
going wide.
Yes.
There must be oil or something.
And Luca Lasser?
Lasse Sørensen is like in the sand. He's like completely off the track. What's going on?
There was a slow car. You have seen it on the other straight, so maybe there was a problem and he was leaking some fluids.
Yeah.
Gianmarco Ercole survived that corner. Lasser survived. Villeneuve survived. But I think Villeneuve passed Luca Lasser. Yeah, the 5 car now in 2nd, Lasser in 3rd, and Alan Day in 4th.
Wow. That was the last thing I expected on the last lap, man.
And Luca Lasser still under pressure by Alan Day. So we have still a few corners left in this race. Nothing decided. Lasse Sørensen still in 5th. He was on the track, so everything's good there. And we're now in the last corner, and Gianmarco Ercole wins the 2nd race of the EuroNASCAR Pro Series here at the Autodromo di Vallelunga. Luca Lasser in 3rd behind Jacques Villeneuve. And then we have Alan Day in 4th, Lasse Sørensen in 5th. And we had the number 1 in the gravel trap. This was the car of Attianese, an Italian driver. I think Laura Sesemann, yes, he finished 6th. Then we have Francesco Sini, Nicolo Rocca. Then 9th position for Stinus Login, Patrick Lemarie. 10th position, Mark Usens 11th, Maggi 12th. Caso, Manfred Ferrara, Sokolowski, Attianese, Trione, Rowbottom, and Ferrando. That are all the drivers here on the grid. And the number 1 car, I think that this was the problem. Maybe he leaked some fluid that we had these sliding at the end of this race. Whoa, what a tough one.
Yeah, some rallycross action there on the last lap. Some oil on the track. Man, you never know what's going to happen. But yeah, great race from everybody involved. We saw some pretty good aggressive overtaking from Jacques Villeneuve there early on in the race, which kind of, that set Sorensen back. I think Sorensen was having a good rhythm until then, and then after that, he didn't have the pace to keep up with them. And then Lucas Lasserre benefited from that, and he was looking like he could win there for a bit, but in the end, 54, Ercole, great. It was a beautiful race by him, and he's going to be really happy with this victory.
Well-deserved win for Gianmarco Ercole in the 54 car racing car. He did a good job, did a good start, then managed to defend his lead. And we are waiting for the winner to come to victory lane. And of course, we grab a word with him. But I want to take the time to say thank you, Andre, for joining us today. And I also want to thank you all, guys, for accepting me as a substitute for Mark Verrill. He's not here with us, unfortunately. So I jumped in. I hope in the next events he will be back and I will take back my place as the grid and victory lane reporter and focus more on writing articles. Normally I'm commentating motorsports in German, adopting a little bit to English and trying it. It was not easy, it was a tough challenge. I thank you so much for all the support I got there. But Mark Verrill will be back for sure, and it's a good idea.
I think you're underselling yourself. You did a really good job.
Thanks.
Perfect job.
So the cars are coming back to the pit road, and we are ready for the celebrations in the victory lane. The second career win for Gianmarco Ercole. First time, first weekend for him with Carl Racing. He jumped into the former car of Alon Day. Alon Day moved to Pika Car Sport, and now he sees his old car in victory lane. Strange feeling, I think.
Yeah, that's always a strange feeling. Yeah, every driver knows that feeling. But it's so close to the top here that I think any one of these guys can win. And yeah, I mean, I think these guys just got to take advantage of their new opportunities. Most of the people, Ercole, Villeneuve, and Day all on new teams this year. So clearly for them, I think it's been a good start.
Jacques Villeneuve also again on the podium, not the first time. He was already in the top 3 in the 2019 season, his debut season in the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. And I think the former Formula 1 champion really found a new home in NASCAR Whelen Euro Series. He's really happy about the cars and the series. Building his own team up is a very good sign that he stays here for a little bit longer as a driver, as a team owner. Very important to have guys like him here in the series. And I think we're missing the connection to the camera in victory lane. Ah, there it is. And I think we grab a word with Gianmarco Ercole. Gianmarco, really nice guy, talented driver. The whole Carl Racing team around him will be very pleased with his performance here today. The 2015 EuroNASCAR 2 champion. And he was the first EuroNASCAR 2 champion to win a EuroNASCAR Pro race in 2018. And now he has his second win on the records. Gianmarco hopefully soon be ready for the interview. There he is. And we go down to victory lane to our Italian colleague. Thank you very much. Go on, interview with the winner.
We are here in the victory lane with the winner of race 2, Gianmarco Ercole. So an amazing performance. So how do you feel now?
Yeah, it's a very good weekend because Friday go very fast, but this morning in the qualifying no do the better. After the team work a lot of for arriving race 1 and close to the podium. And now I start second. In the first turn, I am first, and after only defender.
Your last win was in Brands Hatch in 2018, and now first race with you for you with Carlo Racing and first win. So an amazing performance.
A big return in car racing because I raced with he in the 2014, and this year I return and now I arrive the fifth victory. It's fantastic for me.
And now let's go with the championship. Think about the second round from tomorrow.
Yeah, I arrive in Zolder, the track I love, and when I win my title, and I think it's possible do a good work. Good job.
Thank you very much and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Gianmarco Ercoli won the second race of the EuroNASCAR Pro division in 2020, and this is it. This was the NASCAR GP of Italy at the Autodromo di Vallelunga, the new home of this race, and we will be back in 2 weeks at the Circuit Zolder, the NASCAR GP of Belgium on 3rd and 4th October, and I hope you join us again. Thanks again, Andre Castro. My name is Andre Wiegold, and I wish you all a nice Sunday. See you at Zolder. Thank you for tuning in. So bad, and when he's sitting there watching it, smile on his face. He wrote me, "Don't do the job too good because I want my job back."
I hope he's back in his older.
Yes, we're working on it definitely because it's too much work when he's not there.
It was fun having him on the esports stuff too.
Yeah,
It surprised me how much passion he had for the online stuff also.
yeah.
Not just the real thing. Yeah, it's a good race.
Thank you so much. It was very nice, and thank you for offering it right at the beginning.
Yeah, of
because
course.
then I was really making sure that we can make it happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime again.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah. Hopefully I'll see you in Zolder. Hopefully everything goes to plan. Racing never dies.
And I hope that your team is also happy that you have a little bit of TV presence.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah. I should have plugged the team a couple more times.
That's what I said when I
Yeah,
said take a pick which tier one driver and something like this.
Exactly.